Right, guys, what up? So what I do when I come to these coaching, I always plan the night before, and I've got my list and I've got all the ways that I'm going to approach it and how am I going to start. And last night I prepped to this episode, and then I went out for dinner with this woman that I interviewed for Women of Impact, my podcast, and her name is Milk. Let me give you context to who Milk is. She wrote a song called Quiet, and it was about a personal experience that she had gone through of abuse. And then the Me Too movement happened and they picked up her song. And so as I'm talking to her at dinner last night, the words that came out of her mouth, I was like, oh my God, I have to remember this for coaching today. She said, Lisa, I wrote this song that was so meaningful to me. It was so impactful to me. And it was something I had to say because it was something that was weighing on me and I had to talk about my past. And she's like, what I didn't realize is that me and talking about something that was so meaningful would end up creating a movement. And so, of course, I heard the word movement and I was like, neon sign. Oh, my God. OK, I have to talk to ask her a couple of questions to then come to you guys and talk about what it actually looks like for somebody to create a movement on a global freaking scale. And the takeaway was she had no intention of actually creating a movement. Like the reason why it became a movement was because she loved, and it was important to her. So she loved the art form and it was important to her to give that message. So the movement came as a result of her following what was important to her. She literally accidentally created a movement. And so that's kind of where I wanted to start, because I understand when you're thinking about goals and strategy that you're going to go in and say, okay, how do I expand? How do I get in front of hundreds of millions of people? And yes, while that may be part of your movement, that isn't where you start. And so when she told me that, I was like, that is so freaking strong and we've got to start there. So I actually then just looked up the definition of the word movement, because I always like to just see, what does the dictionary say and what do I perceive or we perceive it to mean? So the definition of a dictionary from the word movement is a group of people working together for a common social, political, or cultural goal. All right. So if we just know that a movement, if that's what you want to start, is about getting a group of people together that is aligned with a social, political, or cultural goal, the question is, what group of people are you going to get together and what is your common goal? So that really allowed me to kind of ask those questions. And in doing that, the thing that you need to start with, then that will echo, is your mission. I'm going to give you my interpretation of what a mission statement looks like. And I've taught this before on Growth Day, but I thought it was so damn important to make sure that I echo that here, because unless you actually know what a mission statement is, unless you actually know how to do it, it's going to be freaking difficult. And to me, my mission statement is my damn North Star, guys. On days I feel bad about myself, on days when I don't think I'm competent, on days where I just don't feel enough, you better freaking believe I go back to my mission statement. So I literally couldn't start this without then going into write and know what your mission is and write it as a statement. Okay, how do you actually write it as a statement? So I believe a mission statement contains 3 things. Number 1, who? So I even said, what's the group of people, right? In the definition of movement, the group of people is your who. So who are you actually doing it for? Number 2 is going to be your what. What are you doing? Right? So you can start a movement. Milk, great example. She did music. But what's your what? And then your why. This is so freaking important. So the why is literally the thing that gets you out of bed every single day. It's when you feel bad about yourself, you need to go back to the why. And so again, Milk's why was because it was so important to her to have the message of empowerment through her storytelling of her child abuse. So yes, the who, the what, and the why. And I'm going to tell you what my mission statement is as a way to explain to you. And it has to be very condensed. It has to be very succinct, because if someone, for instance, you get an opportunity where you can tell someone your mission statement, you don't want to be talking like 15 minutes later about what your mission is. You've lost people at that point. So you have to be able to articulate your mission in a short frame or a short sentence that allows you to be able to carry it with you wherever or however you are, or whoever you're talking to. So the who, the what, the why. My mission statement is to create content that impacts 14-year-old girls to believe in themselves enough so that they don't spend the next 20 years unwiring the negative mindset I've had to do. Okay, I can repeat that time and time and time again. Create content. That's my what. The who is the 14-year-old girl. And the why is because you better believe, guys, when I wake up in the morning, I very much remember how the 14-year-old girl felt when she felt insecure, when she didn't feel enough. And so every time I go to either be lazy or give myself an excuse, I just go back to that 14-year-old Lisa that was so petrified to do anything. Okay, so now once you start to create your mission statement, what's going to stem from your mission statement is your goals. Yeah, I know, right, Megan? I wish I had that messaging when I was young too. So that's why, because I wish I had that messaging, every time I go to give myself a reason or excuse to not start a movement, I didn't think of it as a movement. I just thought of it as an important mission. That is why I go back to my heart every single freaking time. If you use your why, guys, as money, if you do it as I want to buy a house, or like, all of those are great. Absolutely. I don't want to dismiss that. But I don't know how you're going to get out of bed on a day where you feel badly about yourself and could try to convince yourself that it's about the money. So for me, it had to be something that was so tied to my heart. Okay. So now, once you've got your mission statement, you have to assess what goals you're going to put in place that align with your mission. Because otherwise, if you just have a mission, but you don't actually act, you're never actually going to feel like your purpose is being fulfilled. And fulfillment is everything. Everything. So now you take your mission statement and you break it down into what does that actually look like. So you set goals. Because again, a movement, I'm literally starting in here. I haven't even, the movement is what we're going to get to, guys. But you've got to start on these small, little, incremental things to lay the foundation of the movement so that it can actually sustain it. All right. So you want to now set goals that align with your mission. Now, what is a goal? What is a goal? A goal is what will dictate the demands of how you show up.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.